let's talk some Harry Potter, baby! Come on! The Harry Potter reboot is chugging along, but it's a risky proposition, and today I'd like to dig into why that is. First of all, there's the factor that obviously led to this HBO series in the first place: success. The original 8-film series grossed over $7.7 billion in worldwide box office revenues, not to mention a ravenous fan base that spans multiple generations, from little kids to older adults. There was a time when pretty much everyone had Harry Potter fever. While that fever has dissipated somewhat over the years, to the point of which the spin-off Fantastic Beasts franchise came to a disappointing end, there's still an immense fan base out there ready for more Harry Potter content. Specifically, it seems like fans want more of Harry himself, and so it makes sense to produce a huge TV series based on the original books. Give the people what they want, and all that crap. However, with that need comes a set of expectations that are almost impossible to meet. The original cast, having only completed their work just over a decade ago, are still tied to fan memories. Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint achieved almost mythical status with their original performances, and so it seems almost criminal to hoist that level of pressure onto newcomers Dominic McLaughlin, Arabella Stanton, and Alistair Stout, a trio who face the impossible task of matching performances that have become synonymous with the characters themselves. Add to that, and as previously mentioned, this adaptation arrives while the original cast remains young and culturally relevant. Your typical reboot benefits from the passage of time, but this one is recent enough that audiences haven't had time to develop nostalgia-fueled distance, while being long enough that the original performances have had time to seep into the public consciousness and cement themselves as definitive. This has created a uniquely challenging situation wherein every casting choice will be scrutinized against beloved predecessors. You'll be hard-pressed to find a single casting decision thus far not getting skewered by internet know-it-alls, and that's likely to continue well into the actual premiere of the show. In fact, it could be a problem that directly affects viewership if what we get doesn't stand up to what we got before. After all, there's already a perfectly good big screen version of the series available on HBO Max, or whatever the hell it's calling itself right now. Then there's the streaming wars of it all. HBO Max's investment in the Harry Potter universe represents a massive bet on prestige television's power to drive subscriber growth. And really, that's the ultimate goal of just about any major investment within the company. They want to see those numbers go up. They're essentially Alec Baldwin and Glengarry Glen Ross, or Matthew McConaughey in Wolf of Wall Street. Those numbers, those are rookie numbers, coffees for closers only, etc., etc. Subscriber growth is king, and the sole reason for this Harry Potter TV series even getting the green light isn't to please fans, isn't to do right by the source material, isn't even to enrich J.K. Rowling or get people to keep buying her damn books. It's just to grow and keep that sweet, sweet bank account enriching subscriber base. That's the goal, and with that goal comes the question of whether such an expensive series will have the legs to maintain subscriber growth by transforming into the next Game of Thrones, or if the lasting effect is negligible or even a net negative, like a billion-dollar version of The Idol. If that's the case, then the show risks being a catastrophic misallocation of resources that'll haunt the platform for years. Additionally, the economics of streaming have changed considerably over the years since this project was announced. The landscape has shifted, advertising revenues are down, and subscription growth has slowed across the industry, meaning that the deck is stacked against them from the outset. It's an unenviable position for the Harry Potter producers, unless they're super into high-stakes gambling, I guess. That's really what this whole production is at the end of the day. It's gambling. Speaking of gambling, this is very much a high-risk, high-reward scenario we're dealing with. The potential rewards are enormous. Cultural relevance, a little creative vindication, and the delicious taste of that sweet, sweet subscriber growth. The risks, however, are just as substantial. Cultural backlash, creative failure, and financial disaster. But hey, them's the breaks when it comes to the streaming wars. Casualties are expected. Oh gosh, and I almost forgot to bring up the obvious: quality control. While Game of Thrones was a hit throughout the entirety of its run, there was a noticeable drop-off in viewership toward the end of the show, one which correlated directly with viewer satisfaction. If the producers of Harry Potter aren't careful to keep up a consistent level of high-quality fantasy, or, God forbid, they start off on the wrong foot with unpopular casting decisions, then the ratings could tank in response to what viewers perceive as inferior to the films which came before. Now luckily, this is one place where Harry Potter has an advantage. Since the books have been completed since 2007, there's no worry about the writers having to come up with several seasons worth of new material. That doesn't help the issues surrounding bad casting, but we can at least be confident that the writers have everything necessary for success at their disposal. That all said, with a long-form series comes a need for expansion. While the latter books especially contain enough content to fill an 8-episode season, the first handful are a little more contained and therefore have room for growth. Add to that the very human need for something shiny and new. While the writers could coast on just adapting the books in as straightforward a manner as possible, chances are they'll instead want to add elements and make changes where needed. This could lead to fan backlash pretty early on. There's also the rhythm of an episodic format, which will no doubt require little adjustments to keep the viewers hooked from episode to episode. After all, this is a story that the majority of TV viewers already know, so it's only natural that the production team find as many ways as possible to meet and potentially exceed expectations. Of course, it would be disingenuous to not bring up the levitating elephant in the room, the involvement of J.K. Rowling herself. She serves as an executive producer on the production and has previously said that she worked closely with the writers, personally approved the scripts, and aided in selecting the writer and director, and it's been suggested that she had a hand in casting as well. Suffice it to say, she's a big part of the production, and even if she weren't, she'd still be netting quite the salary purely thanks to those sweet, sweet royalties. For those who haven't been paying attention and somehow missed the many times Rowling has been trending for the last, 7 years, the reason that her involvement is controversial is due to her anti-trans stance, which she has been outspoken about for several years now. This has led to calls for boycotting of the franchise, something that's steeped in a sort of dramatic irony given how the more right-leaning demographic reacted to the books when they were first gaining popularity. Recently, Molly Weasley actress Katherine Parkinson flat out refused to voice an opinion about Rowling's anti-trans views after she was asked by the RadioTimes.com about the issue. As far as HBO themselves, CEO Casey Bloys has stated that Rowling's views, quote, haven't affected the casting or hiring of writers or production staff. Either way, it's pretty obvious that Rowling is significantly involved and that HBO is just peachy about that. Anyway, point is, in addition to all of the other obstacles in HBO's path to success, Rowling's involvement could cause enough of a fan exodus to make a significant impact on subscriber growth. So as you can see, the new Harry Potter TV series is a risky proposition. Success for this series means more than just positive reviews and a top 10 ranking for the week. Rather, it requires threading an almost impossible needle. It's gotta honor that beloved source material while providing some sort of new value, managing brand appeal amidst controversy, and maintaining healthy enough subscriber growth to make up for the billions of dollars reportedly being put into the production. It cannot be overstated just how big of a deal this is for HBO Max. It's got to succeed, or else the least of their worries will be the embarrassment of fumbling something that seems too popular to fail. Talk about stress. But hey, what do you think? Am I wrong? Is this show a surefire hit? And heck, are you even excited about it? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching Screen Rant.